What if they don't like me?
They probably don't like me.
Well, I'm not JJ, sorry.
Hey guys, welcome back to Superhero Gains. We've just seen Avengers Infinity War, and we're going to do a little bit of a spoiler talk on what we thought about it. So, should we say like the good, and then the bad, and then...
Well, why don't we start with you saying that you've been waiting for this film for 10 years, and as have we all. So, do you think it was worth the wait?
Yes, but at the same time, like, you always overhype things a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I think I did overhype it a bit, but it still lived up to an amazing expectation. But now I feel, the reason I don't feel amazing now is because it's like over. It's like you love the hype more than the feeling afterwards, but it was an amazing film. Definitely say that.
At the moment it feels like the flight home from a holiday.
Yeah, definitely. Infinity War blues. The best things I liked was seeing the characters bounce off each other that we haven't seen before, especially with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And
yeah, I'd say that was a good thing, the way that they paired up some of the characters.
Yeah.
And they got the right mix of personalities.
Yeah.
In the different factions of where everyone was.
Like there was a bit of
spread out
clash
across the
as well.
universe. Yeah,
there wasn't much of a... I thought there'd be more of a clash between some of the Earth-based ones. So, like a lot of the characters... I'd heard that people like Falcon weren't going to be as comfortable in Wakanda. And I'd heard that he was going to be a bit jealous of the relationship between Cap and Black Panther. But that didn't show at all in the movie. Like, there was no real conflict. And they did get along a bit too quick, maybe, but there was definitely more of the whole characters clashing and new personalities mixed. We definitely saw more of that in the Titan scene between those guys.
Although you have to accept that, you know, facing insurmountable odds in the way that they were, that better...
They had to just pull together.
They had to pull together, which I think is what you saw when they went to the Avengers base and Rhodey said, "Oh well, you know, go away, Secretary of Defence."
Yeah, he thought, "All right, I'm going to help Cap this time."
Yeah, and then he said, "Oh, well, you know, I've just got myself a court-martial on your behalf."
And they're not really the characters who would like to cause as much tension as people like Tony Stark. Like he's going to do that with anyone who's in a room with.
Yeah,
especially anyone who's got even the remotest level of ego.
Which is why it was
Doctor Strange and Star-Lord.
And the two Sherlocks facing off, that's great.
Oh, look, Star-Lord and Thor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved how he looks like the baby of a pirate and an angel. Please stop stroking his muscles.
He's not this is a handsome, muscular man.
I think the Russo brothers might have a little bit of a crush on Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I think they know that everyone does.
Yeah, well,
to be honest.
Yeah.
So, any other little... tidbits.
Well, just to go back to what you were saying before about the personality clashes, I think if they did too much of that, it would be too much of a rehash of Civil War.
Yeah, definitely.
So we know that very powerful people with big egos and
you put them in a room together,
but that they are going to have clashes. But you face them against somebody like Thanos,
and they come together. But that was the same thing that they did in the first Avengers film, like when they were all in the room together. When it was the first ever square off between Cap and Tony.
Oh, I suppose that after they just had the fight in the forest as well, hadn't they?
Yeah, exactly. And they were not getting along there as well.
No, so I think we've moved past that part of the conflict between the characters that we know and love, and what we wanted to see is what we got, which is the humour, and particularly it was something I really liked was the fact that each of the groups retained their own internal personalities from their films.
Yeah, there was definitely any character development that they got in their previous films, it still carried on over these films. Yeah. And they didn't just ignore it, which it would have been a bit of a continuity error. Yeah, and it wouldn't have made sense if, Thor, he wasn't as funny as he was in Ragnarok, but again, I think they had to tone that down just because of what the movie was.
But they had elements of that in still.
Yeah, exactly. They definitely took bits of that from there, so that was really good to see. What else? So we've talked about like the characters. Mm-hmm. How about like individual scenes and locations? So let's talk about Thor and Rocket and Groot going to
Nidavelli.
Yeah, to see Peter Dinklage.
the giant dwarf.
Yeah, that was
genius.
I did a video a while ago about who I thought he would be playing, and in the back of my mind I was thinking he was going to play one of the Black Order.
Yeah, voicing Ebony Maw.
Yeah, but I did say that Eitri was one of the possible characters. But
yeah, because
I think
of the dwarf connection.
By that point, though, everyone had kind of moved on from the fact that he was going to be playing the dwarf, and everyone was thinking, right, he's going to be voicing one of the Black Order. Everyone thought that, and everyone thought it was going to be Ebony Maw for a while, and then they realised it was, I forget his name, Tom Von Lawyer, something.
We'll put it up on the top.
Yeah. And then people started to think he was going to be voicing Corvus Glaive.
Yeah.
That was the big thing everyone thought, and then obviously we saw a little clip about a week ago of the fight scene with Corvus, Proxima Midnight, Captain America.
I love Proxima, by the way.
She was okay. She just didn't really stand out as much. She was definitely better than Black Dwarf or Cull Obsidian in this one. I don't think they got away with calling him Black Dwarf in this one.
No.
But
they had a legitimate dwarf who was a giant.
So you like Proxima Midnight?
I like Proxima. Well, you know.
She was good. Corvus Glaive. I thought both of them two were very good, but Ebony Maw was my favourite out of the.
I really like Proxima Midnight's fight with Black Widow and.
The early on.
No, the one in Wakanda, where it was the girl fight,
Okoye,
the chick fight,
and what did they do? They threw her into the turbines or something.
Yes. Well, that's one way of getting rid of people.
Yeah,
you know.
that's the limit for a 12A rating. Then again, I thought they were crossing the line when they killed Loki at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a quick killing, it was like, I'm going to choke the life out of you, and your face is going to go blue.
And you can actually see his eyes, like, popping out of his head. That was some good acting from Old Hiddleston.
That was... I thought Loki was going to die, but...
Do we forgive him for the I Heart TS yet?
I think we can forgive him for it. He was good. Like, he tried to play a bluff to Thanos, but no, Thanos...
Well, that's his character. I mean, they showed at the end of it, those two brothers really genuinely do love each other.
Yeah, I mean, they started to allude to that more in Ragnarok, and there was definitely... He got his redemption arc then, and
and it continued into the beginning.
Yeah,
of
again
this.
with the character development going.
But what a hell of a first 5 minutes, though.
Yeah, wow! Like, we knew that we were going to see what Thanos was like in the first 5 minutes. That's literally what Kevin Feige had said.
That's what you said.
I said it was
slightly out though.
Yeah, I did a video a while back, and it was on the first 5 minutes of Infinity War. And
do you want to put it in the cards?
Yeah, I'll put it up there. And she said it was a bit too clickbaity. But what are you gonna do? Okay, let's talk about Thanos.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, I've got Infinity War nails. I know this isn't a beauty blog, but yeah. I have purple eyeshadow.
The Soul Stone.
I have the Soul Stone around my neck, and I have Infinity Stone nails, which
and the Death.
Oh yes, and I'm here representing Lady Death, who isn't in the film, although again, sort of alluded to, I guess.
Red Skull kind of looked like Death when he first appeared with the he was guarding the Soul Stone. I guess that was his role, really.
Yeah.
There was also the other thing they alluded to
when he looked like a Dementor.
Quickly before we jump back to talking more about Thanos, the bit with
this is all over the place.
Yeah, sorry.
I blame the wine.
The bit where he at the end of the film where he clicks his fingers and he kind of goes into what's like an afterlife thing and speaks with child Gamora. That was
the child Gamora actress, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
She was fantastic.
I don't know who she is. I've never seen her. But that was seemed very reminiscent of the scenes in the comics where Thanos would go into the realm of death and communicate with Lady Death. So I think there was some kind of nod to that, but no sign of death, cosmic entities at all, which was shocking. But I think if they did that, it would have been cramming way too much into what was an already very packed film.
Jam-packed film, and also we're dealing with a lot of like metaphysical ideas in the whole of Infinity War in any event. Maybe that's a bit too much.
For the casual moviegoer.
Yeah. Although this isn't a film really for the casual moviegoer.
No, you definitely need to. I mean, it's a good action film, and I suppose if you've seen a couple of these films, and like a lot of people who've watched the Avengers films, and they like Thor, they like Captain America, they like Iron Man, they like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Even if they don't follow the deep storyline, like my parents, like I know my mum will watch this, and she'll.
Hi, Jill, by the way.
She'll enjoy it. She's a subscriber.
She's like your only subscriber. Hi! Shout out to my favourite subscriber.
She'll like it just because Thor's in it.
Well, as I say,
she won't be happy that Loki died. She's a big Tom Hiddleston fan.
But
back to Thanos. So Thanos was an amazing villain. Right, so we lost. It stopped filming there for a bit, so we're not sure where it got up to.
Yeah, I was saying the MVP of the piece was the box that they made Tony Stark stand on.
Yeah.
It was great. Various scenes, they managed to get him standing on steps so he could talk to the tall characters eye to eye.
Let's quickly recap about Thanos again, because I think that was completely missed from when it cut off. So yeah, Thanos was a way better villain than all the other ones we've seen. There have been good villains and bad villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but no, Thanos was, what was it you said? I said he's genuinely scary, but he also believes what he's doing. Yeah, he had genuine belief in what he was doing was right. Yeah. And I liked the little reality stone shift where he turned Titan back to the beautiful land he once knew. Out of all the Infinity Stones, I was going to say the Reality Stone was the coolest one. I really liked that because we've never really seen. I mean, all it did was just make a guns turn into bubbles. A blood tornado. Yeah. I mean, when Malekith had it, Malekith had it. It was a blood tornado. When Thanos has it, it's gun bubbles. It's and what did it did to Drax and Mantis? It sliced them into pepperoni or something, and then one of them got unwrapped. Yeah. The other one got cuboided. That was cool to see. We've never seen the Reality Stone do anything. And it was nice to see it not just. They always just shoot lasers and explode, really. So. Yeah, there were very few lasers in this, to be honest, apart from Vision. Yeah, Vision clearly, and and I suppose the only other. No, there was no giant beam of laser into the sky. No, there wasn't. I'm genuinely trying to think if there was one, but I can't. No, there definitely wasn't. I think that's probably the first time. Yeah, even Age of Ultron had something like a big device in the sky. Yeah, and in the first superhero film to not show a beam of light shooting into the sky. I think DC should take note from this. Yeah, this is the thing. It's amazing how they managed to pull this off, and DC couldn't even handle a Justice League movie with 6 characters. I liked it. It was fun, but it was all over the place. Yeah. I know they had 2 directors, but she's a big DC fan. She refuses to not like it. I even liked Suicide Squad. She offended everyone. All 60 subscribers. They're unsubscribed now, thanks. There we go, back to 0. And your mum. Nah, my mum will stay subscribed. For the rest of this video, I'm everything I say is going to be muted out, and I'm just going to be a blur, aren't I? Mm-hmm. I'm going to be shot by a laser into the sky. I'm just going to Photoshop someone else here and get JJ back. Yeah. People liked him. Okay, what else? Any other little bits that we could discuss? The ending. Let's talk about what actually happened in the film. So, he gets all the stones, and he clicks his fingers like we knew he would. We knew that was his end game. Yeah. And he achieved. He set himself a goal, and he pulled through. He carried through on it. So, gold star for Thanos. Go Thanos. All the Black Order's dead. Yeah. He's all on his own. So Easter eggs. Did you spot any? Because I don't know if you were. I mean, they're quite hard to pick out. But... My favourite Easter egg was when they were in Scotland, and there was a big sign in the background that says, "We will deep fry your kebab." I didn't see that. If you watch it again, look for the little sign. There we go. They nailed Scotland. It was raining and they deep fry kebabs. I can't believe you didn't notice. I didn't notice that. I was too busy looking for nerdy Easter eggs, not real life ones. No. Okay, so I think they had it showed Doctor Strange with what looked like the crimson bands of Cyttorak, which. It's like a magical spell that he cast with red wraps, and he used it to bind Thanos at one point. That was quite cool to see. That was that fight on Titan was amazing. Yeah, I love that. I think that was better. And they get a leg up on Thanos at one point, so they really do. And Spider-Man actually gets the gauntlet off. Yeah, and Star-Lord has to be can't control his emotions and. Oh, we can't all be like you, Harry. Can't all be like Tony Stark. I like that. Tony Stark was the one being talking sense into
Calm
him.
your tits, Quill.
Yeah. But like, you know, time and a place.
You wouldn't care, would you? If like my adopted daddy threw me off a mountain, you'd be like, good, I get the bed to myself now.
Yeah, but I would also be like, come on, let's save the universe and
Right, she's already dead, there's nothing we can do about it, mate.
Probably a bad thing to say.
They had the time stone.
Yeah, that was the thing, like Doctor Strange didn't use the time stone, but then again, like there was a bit of mystery.
Yeah, because he's saying this all leads into his plan. This was the end game.
Yeah, so one way that they win out of 14 million. But yeah, so it could have been all of his plan for them to... Like, he might not even told the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that he went along with this plan and he knew this was how it had to happen. He knew maybe Thanos had to win so that they could defeat him afterwards.
Then Infinity War Part 2. Although it's, you know, we know that Tony Stark is a very damaged individual because of what happened in the first Avengers and the PTSD he went through in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
It's because of Tony Stark that half the universe is dead.
Why is it his fault?
Because Doctor Strange gave up the time stone to save Tony Stark.
Yeah, but it could have been, again...
Yeah,
part of his plan, and
that might lead into Doctor Strange's plan because
maybe
Tony Stark
they need Tony Stark
is the key to rewinding everything,
and they're going to need him in the future. Let's be honest. Yeah, I mean, other Easter eggs. Vision went grey at one point, which is a reference to there was a time in the comics where he was monotone, basically white and grey. So that was a cool thing to see.
Well, the whole wiping out half the universe. I'm not as deep into the mythology of Thanos as you are.
Yeah.
And surely most of the people that are watching. But I know in particular that Thanos once promised half of the universe to impress Lady Death.
Yeah.
So that's quite a cool callback to the specifically the half the universe.
Yeah, so even though they changed it massively, he was still wiping out half the universe.
And that is something that comes from the comics where he did it to impress Death.
Yeah.
And Lady Death doesn't interest it because she's going to go after Deadpool.
Okay. On 3, your favourite scene in the whole thing. So I know what I know what mine is, but there's other ones that are pretty close. So go on. What's your favourite scene? 1, 2, 3, go.
It's Thor and Rocket coming down, being beamed down.
Yep.
And
Same. Yeah.
I think that's everything. Like there was actually a round of applause in the cinema.
I've never heard that before in a cinema before. When Thor showed up. I mean, I don't know if that's more of an American thing where they applaud in cinemas. It doesn't really happen in England.
There might have even been a whoop somewhere.
If someone does that in England, you kind of look at them like, how dare you?
Jolly bad show, chap.
Yeah, exactly. But no, everyone cheered for that bit when Thor showed up, and it's like, yeah, okay, they were doing all right in the battle, but then Thor showed up and annihilated them.
Yeah, I have to say that the last minute.
Rocket with Winter Soldier.
That
him
was
trying to buy the arm.
He's getting that
I'm getting that arm.
Well, not anymore. Maybe
he also got an eye, and I think in the last 2 Guardians films.
He wants eyes.
Yeah, he's been trying to collect them.
And now he's lost it again because he's given it to Thor. Yeah, that was a very cool pairing. I like that. The forging of the axe.
Yeah, that was really... I thought that would be... I was worried it would be very rushed. But the way they did it really well... so basically, at the same time, you've got the battle in Wakanda happening, the battle on Titan, and the forging of Thor's axe, all going on at the same time, so that it didn't feel...
With the throwaway line that, oh yes, and it can also open the Bifrost, which is very lucky because we've just killed the bloke who can open the Bifrost.
Yeah, that was also a bit of a weird thing, like, oh, hi, I'm Heimdall, I can just call upon the All-Fathers and get Hulk sent down to Earth.
Why didn't he send Thor and Loki as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions why he
there's a lot of plot holes, but then again, in extremis, people do
the opening scene as well, I kind of thought... It was really cool how they just started with, in the midst of Asgardian's ship has been destroyed, pretty much everyone is dead. It was really cool because then it just showed you straight away, oh my god, this is what Thanos is like. This is what he's going to be doing. And it gave a bit of mystery as well because you saw the Black Order there and you think, hang on, how did they take them down? How did they do all this? But at the same time, I was kind of hoping to see it play out a little bit. I mean, they might do like they might release a comic book or something.
I mean, they sort of showed it because he had when he used the Force of the Stone at the end.
He had the Power Stone.
Yeah, the Power Stone. So
but they didn't show like him going to Xandar. It was.
No.
I know that it would have been hard for them to throw that in as another scene. It would have felt like there was... because that was a really good opening scene, and if they'd shown him go to Xandar, it would have been almost like they had 2 opening scenes, which would have been a bit of a...
Maybe they, John C. Reilly and Glenn Close were just too big for this film. They just couldn't afford them, having paid Robert Downey Jr. and co.
It makes you wonder if they're all dead. Like if he said that a week ago he annihilated. That was what Thor said to. I'm guessing he told Thor that. Oh, by the way, I'm here. Just popped over to Xandar, by the way, just so that you can tell, just so that you can tell everyone else watching the film what I've been up to.
Exposition time. Well, we love a good villain who explains their plan before carrying it out.
That's why I liked Ultron, because he didn't do that.
No. There was a redeeming feature, clearly. I have to say, as I said, this is all over the place, apologies. Talking about British cinemas and the reaction of the people in the cinema.
Yeah.
The last, I'd say, 3 minutes of the film before the credits rolled, no one breathed.
I didn't see anyone leave either. And normally when I go see a Marvel film, there's always people who leave, which you kind of, aka plebs, you wonder what are they doing? This you've watched 18, 19 movies of this, hopefully. Why are you leaving before a Marvel film? I mean, even like any sort of superhero action film now copies that and does an end credit scene.
Yeah.
You don't do that. But in this one, no one left.
No.
I mean, I think it was because it was such a cliffhanger. Everyone was sat there thinking, "Now, come on, I want to see what happens next."
Like half the world has disintegrated.
Yeah. Another little Easter egg: the end scene. Thanos obviously disappears and goes off to his little hut. And you probably don't know this, but this is like right after they actually defeated him in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. He kind of retires from a life of conquest and just goes and lives as a farmer.
Well, he said that's what he was going to do.
What? Just retire? He
was going to retire and bask in the glow of a thankful universe.
Yeah, and so he went off and retired to his little farm. And I think, I don't know, he made like a scarecrow or something in the comics where his armour used to hang on top of that, and he used to sow his crops. That was all he's doing. So like there was a little throwaway Easter egg, but that was the end scene was a bit like, okay, what happens now? And then we got the post-credit scene with Captain Marvel hinted, which is good. So that's set in the 90s. Yeah,
introduced.
Well, you didn't see
as
her,
a concept,
but Nick Fury just before he disappears after
pages her.
Yeah.
That was good old-fashioned technology.
Space pager.
There was a flip phone and a space pager.
Do you think she's in space then?
Well,
because the Captain Marvel movie is going to be set in the 90s, so it makes you think, why hasn't she been around?
Yeah, she's clearly not on Earth.
No, and her powers are from the Kree, I believe. It's some sort of cosmic sort of power. So, yeah, I guess that was like a distress call, and she's going to come back. But I mean, we don't know. There's no clue what's going to happen in Avengers 4. We know there's going to be some possible time travel because it looks like they've gone back to the Battle of New York. There's been some set photos. I don't know if you've seen them where it's.
No.
It's just pictures of Steve Rogers in his original Avengers Captain America uniform, like the room.
Nice, we like that.
It's a bit tight though, isn't it? There's been scenes of him, Bruce Banner, Tony Stark with like ginger hair for some reason, and Ant-Man.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, we're gonna have to wait until we see Ant-Man and the Wasp to find out what's gonna happen. No Hawkeye.
No. But they sort of explained that away.
Yeah, what was it they said? They made a deal with them. So they're both on house arrest. They've gone back and made a deal, so they're under house arrest, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
With their families.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's the best they can really do. Really.
Family is a big theme of this film, isn't it? So it would have been nice to maybe have seen that, but again, it's too much for this.
Way too much. It did not feel like 2 hours, 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, I mean, it rushed by.
Yeah, went by very quickly. It does slow down at times, but not for long. Like you only get like, there's never like a 10, 15 minute scene where it's chilled out. It's like, okay, we're going to let you breathe for 2 minutes and then we're going straight back into the action again.
Metaphor time, it's like driving at the limit of your car's capability, and then instead of applying the brakes, you just lift off the accelerator just a little bit, and then slam it back on.
Yeah. Straight
drop it into
the last
and
hour,
keep going.
things just ramped up even more though. Like, even
high
that scene before
octane.
that.
So yeah, I think we've pretty much gone through.
I think we have, yeah. Like,
oh, and I'd say I like Blonde Widow.
Yeah?
She looked good with her blonde hair.
You're going to go blonde now?
Again. Yeah, again.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, Harry's sort of sporting the hobo Captain America look.
Hobo Bucky.
And I'm going to be Hobo Bucky.
Bucky's hairstyle is called the Sexy Hobo. That is the name for it.
I could get on board with a sexy hobo Sebastian Stan.
I think we've pretty much covered.
Yep, we've discussed all the sexy men.
Yep.
In detail.
All the sexy men.
But this is Thanos' film.
Definitely.
Thanos, what a guy.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I think this belongs to you.
Oh, yes.
Fine, I'll bake it myself.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you are new here, then consider subscribing. It's called Superhero Gains, but it's really just MCU because I really don't have time for DC at the moment, so sorry. I might do some Deadpool stuff, there we go. You happy with that?
It's Marvel as well!
Yeah, I'll do some Deadpool stuff, but I won't do DC stuff.
I'll sit on my own.
Maybe. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye!